Have you ever felt this pressure to declutter your home, your space, to strip it away from all the colors, to go to your wardrobe and declutter it, to simplify it, have this amazing capsule wardrobe? If yes, minimalist might be the reason why. Hi, I'm Patty, and today I'm going to talk about minimalism and why I have problem with minimalism presented and sold to us for the last 10, 15 years. Minimalism, as we know in the West, presented most of the time by social media, usually is presented as amazing solution. It's going to, improve your life. Just have this, declutter all your space. Minimalism looked very white, gray, beige, maybe a bit of brown here and there. Same for the wardrobe, and everything basically very monochrome, very toned down. That should improve your life, your mind, because thanks to this empty space, your mind's also decluttered for all the unnecessary things, and you will start to have this happy life. But is it true? Okay, let's go point by point. First, Western minimalism and Japanese minimalism. West got a lot of inspiration from Japan and Japanese aesthetics, wabi sabi, zen. Everything has to be mindful. If you go to Japan, you go to those traditional gardens, you will see it very minimalistic. Everything is just like aesthetically perfectly organized. You go to a traditional restaurant in Japan, the food presented is perfect minimalistic form. We also have like creators like Marie Kondo and her method of declutter your space and declutter your life, mind, how to organize it perfectly. West really got on with this idea and took it. And of course, in the West, everything has to be bigger. So took it mostly on the steroids. As I feel it lost its main idea, the core, the whole purpose in Japan just to shorten it. It's just to give meaning for your life and for your space, in general, your lifestyle. West, it was presented quite often that it has to be like super squeaky clean, one bed, one wardrobe, 10 pieces, and then we are like, wow, basically amazing minimalist. And actually, if you go to Japan has lots of colors. If you go to Tokyo, come on, you go Shinjuku, you go Shibuya, you go Harajuku, Kabukicho. There are lots of neons, there are lots of signs, there's lots of colors going on. So it's not only this minimalism as we know in the West. If you go to a regular Japanese person's household, most of the time, 9 out of 10, it would be cluttered. Doesn't mean it's dirty or super messy, no, but it would be cluttered because Japanese people also like owning stuff. Idea of Japanese minimalism has been taken and exaggerated on social media, definitely, and building like philosophy on a philosophy, because it sells, just purely because it was selling quite well, like fresh buns. Scandinavian design perspective. If someone says capsule wardrobe, immediately I think Scandinavian wardrobe. Very basic, very toned down colors, very minimalistic. Scandinavian style feels very clean, organized, kind of perfect in a way. We also got it and took it in this minimalism umbrella, like in fashion, in design, in the lifestyle, finding happiness in this little simple things, everyday things, how to enjoy it. This all was putting in this umbrella of minimalism. Another point are millennials. So it looks like millennials, they like minimalism, in life, in fashion, in design. There's always there are cycles, right? Everything's just going back and going round. millennials grew up in the houses in the 80s, 90s, probably like early 2000s. And those houses were very colorful, big. Nowadays, you would say a design was like a cluttered, collecting things going on theme. Maybe you were collecting little figurines, cups, name it. So after this wave came a wave of more declutter, more spacious, more simple type of design, simple type of look. So everything had this, it's like a comeback. It's like a cycle in fashion and in design. Millennials, it was something different. So, new generations, new way of surrounding and making your space looking different that, for example, our parents had. However, one of the problem with minimalism is in the West is promoting kind of like a one type of culture within this design and with the look. It's either this Japanese minimalism or the Scandinavian, or even I would say like this French minimalism, right? French girl is very minimalistic with her look. However, minimalism tends to forget or belittle in a way other cultures which are more colorful. Look at Southeast Asia colors, look at the saris, look at the makeup that's very bold, look at the jewelry, look at African patterns, designs, Caribbean, everything this, according to minimalism, is too much. Right? Too much wearing it, too much putting in your house as a design. Some might appreciate it, but in general, I had this feeling that we minimalists, we are like kind of feeling superior. They might not say it, but it feels like I'm superior because I got rid all of those things. I don't need anything. I just have this fancy, a very expensive outfit. I have this, my Apple MacBook, my iPhone. I have this super duper design, furnitures, and I am, at peace, and I don't need all this junk around me. So it gives this kind of feel of superiority that I'm better than you. I can, fix my clothes with only, 10 pieces. For me, it's a little bit no. If somebody has a colorful house and has maybe, many things here and there and designs are like very bold, does it mean your house is inferior to the minimalist house? I don't think so. This nicely goes to what should we buy? So quite often on social media is presented that, they got rid of a lot of stuff. They live in this, minimalistic space, home, apartment, and it seems like, okay, I'm saving money, I'm kind of like a frugal, I'm very environmental friendly, etc., etc. But if you look at quite often at the pieces promoted, especially in social media by people, what kind of tools, electronics, for example, they are buying quite often are the same brand over and over again, which is quite expensive. Teaching anything else because again we are like superior and we're better than you. So social media portrays this minimalism like, yes, we don't have like clutter houses. The quality of our furnitures, the quality of like tools, electronics that we're using is just like top notch. It also screams, a little bit of privilege because not everybody can afford to have MacBooks, iPhones, super fancy design, wardrobes, beds, etc., furnitures. So does it mean that you're mindful, or are you just following the crowd, the fashion that is presented to you by social media? This capsule wardrobe and this kind of feeling my wardrobe is better than yours, and lots of those pieces are actually black, white, grayish, brownish. There's not a lot of color. Maybe there's like 1, 2, 3 pieces of color. But in general, all this wardrobe are very like blend, as you say. And minimal. And again, those clothes presented are quite expensive. And again, not everybody can afford it. And making people say that, oh, I own those stuff and I own those 10 pieces. And they're super expensive, but the quality is amazing. And you over there, we've got like 100 units of clothes and they're like not such a good quality. Well, it screams a little bit again, yeah, I'm better than you. And it's not nice, I would say, to present it like that. Another thing for me, minimalism in that kind of form screams masculine energy. We know we've got this feminine, masculine energy. Why we look at the wardrobe, quite often it's very neutral and not very feminine. It's more, neutral, more towards like manly. So either men and women can wear it, which is fine if somebody likes it. But why minimalist in that form gives me the vibe more of a masculine energy than feminine energy. And as we know, feminine energy is more, abundant, rich, and also colorful. Well, yeah, I don't know. And I give an example that if you go most of the time, not always, because everybody's different, but like a cliche, man, bachelor, living alone, maybe his, first job, etc. And we look at his apartment, it's quite minimalistic. It looks very minimalistic. It's like, a bed, sofa, TV, PlayStation, wardrobe, very simplified. So if it's messy or no, that's another story. But if you look at the pieces and the numbers and the colors, it's quite minimalistic. That's why I'd say the minimalist that's been, going on for 10, 15 years screams for me masculine energy more than the feminine energy. Things are changing and now people are more transparent. And I think the minimalism, as we know, is a little bit going bye-bye. We're saying bye-bye because, new generation is coming, becoming more like cozy. You can give, it's okay to put in design your elements here and there. I think more colors are introduced to this minimalistic spaces in design. Same with clothes. We should not be, only focusing on like, I just need the basics, and then don't play with the colors and fashion. I think this is changing and this is a good thing. And I think it's a good direction. So we're going away from this quick, clean minimalism that looks like no one lives there. And we're adding a little bit of touches of becoming more like personalized. And people start to realize that this minimalist that was presented for a little bit too much and a little bit, privileged. Not everybody can afford to be minimalist. And you can't be afford minimalism. Is it so accessible and meaningful for everybody? Is it this perfect ideal life that they're promoting? Well, this is the question that you should answer for yourself. I also got into this minimalist wave, in design, a little bit in fashion here and there. It's not like I'm ditching it completely and I don't like it. I prefer to be like in balance, not too much of this, not too much of that. The other side, so not too much clutter, but not too much minimalism. Make it more personal. I live in Hong Kong. And I really like that mess in a way. Like sometimes you go to Wan Chai in some of those little streets, or you go to Kowloon side. Oh my God, so much colors, so much, like vivid life, neons. I love it. I just love it. And maybe it's just my personal thing. I get that not everybody adore that kind of aesthetic. But I like it when it's a little bit cluttered. I like it when it's a little bit messy. I like when there are some touches, colors here and there in your wardrobe. I like when your wardrobe is not completely just 10 pieces and that's it. I just like it. In the end, minimalism doesn't have to mean you're sacrificing your personality and your personal preferences, and that you can't, I don't know, collect some things just because you like it. It doesn't mean you can't have many clothes, and doesn't mean you can't have, I don't know, many books on the shelves just because they said so and it's not meaningful. No, that's not true. You do your thing. And as I said, as all around the world, everything is changing. Everything is just a cycle. And I think a little bit of clutter, a little bit of exaggerations here and there in design and in fashion is coming back. And it's not a bad thing.